This is London with MarketHedge. Let's pay attention to Bitcoin. Bit of a bounce here with Asia. This is London with MarketHedge, and I want to talk about the specific preceding level of support with this specific anchor to the downside, why this is the most likely re-hit area up and along this zone. Give me a little bit of time. I'll flesh out the technical. It's going to be about a 5-minute review max today. Now, in terms of updates on trades, I want to talk about last week was a killer week. Congrats to Daniel, knocking it out of the park. Daniel, nice trades the last 7 days. Way to kill it. And you guys, I don't know if you saw all the trades. I brought you many of the trades. So many of those trades last week on the 4-hourly worked out. You guys know I was trading across 9 or so accounts. It was a gangbuster week last week for Bitcoin. If you didn't trade, I'm sorry. You need to look into it. Now, in terms of the one remaining account I've got, you guys know that stacked specific level from that 20 moving average on the weekly, it's still underwater, but it's recovered nicely, I have to say, and it could be near a break-even point soon. I'll discuss that specific trade. We're going to go over some technical metrics in terms of where we find ourselves now on the daily, on the weekly, and on the 4-hourly, on the MACD, and on the, let's talk about it on the MACD and on the RSI. This is London, former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. Now on the daily, let's just start off on the daily. We're clearly just about, it looks like within inches, of rolling positive on the histogram on the MACD. Would love that to work out in line with, let's go ahead and mark that as something highly technically significant if we can accompany it with a specific jump over the 20 moving average on the daily. These are our specific Bollinger Bands. You see the tightening right before that move and drop to the downside. You see the pickup now, which, this is the good thing. Right now, if you're a bull and you're looking for some momentum to the upside, that MACD histogram is going to give you that. You may use squeeze indicator, guys, but the MACD histogram is going to be real good in terms of that momentum as well. But looking at this potential carry up to the upside, bulls are fashioning themselves as they start out the week here with a potential carry up parallel channel feature to the upside. So this is always a tactic whenever you see the specific multi-hit along the bottom, and anytime you have really 3 hits, you need 1, 2, 3. That 4th hit's going to be projected to the upside. You can say, yeah, well, we had that 3rd hit here too, and we failed to get to that upside. Absolutely, without question. Technically, that is a dynamic in play as well. So bulls, the show is yours to take over at this point. Let's talk about some of the hurdles to get to the upside. First of all, in terms of the RSI, yesterday, or last week rather, seems like yesterday, it's been a quick weekend. I hope you guys had a good weekend. In terms of the specific hits to the specifically, that specific 4-hourly low RSI, remember as we hammer into these trades, and this is the reason why last week was such an incredible trade week, and I'm telling you guys, literally at some point, and if you've traded with me before, personally, listen, if you've traded with me before, I want you to know, literally, these are $1 million days. They don't look like them on the chart. When you start rolling with higher leverage and when you're safeguarded to the extent that you can on your trades, but you're putting the right amount of leverage and margin in, these are $1 million days. And a lot of the traders that I have been around will connect with that because you've made $1 million days in our preceding trade sessions. So I'm letting you know, while it doesn't look like it exactly, these are $1 million days. So mark it, tag it, and just understand it. One of the reasons why we hedge, or we will stack in orders into this 4-hourly low RSI, is the following. We can't be exactly sure where price is going to interact with the specific 4-hourly low RSI. We just know that there's a good level of interaction, right? So all of these bounces, and especially these digs, as we look at price getting underneath the 4-hourly low RSI, when this is stacked and you are across 8 or 9 accounts, I will tell you, first of all, it's the riskiest type of trading you can do. I have to throw that in there. You guys know that as a fact. But I will tell you, this can pay and it did pay last week, like clockwork. I mean, these were some mean, heavy profit trades, guys. So to the extent that you're involved in trading and you're looking at, let's say, the best metric right now on Bitcoin. Maybe that discussion doesn't really resonate with you. You're trying to find consistency on your trades. Just look at the 4-hourly low RSI line that's on your chart. Now, this is from Wilder's RSI formula. I've extracted the actual price line so that you can see the dynamic in terms of what the actual price value is for that 30, which is the low on the RSI. So I've carried it over to a different time frame, multi-time frame, on price chart, RSI, low and high. You'll see the high is incoming, and that's our hurdle. That's what we need to get up, out, and over. I just want the traders to appreciate, please, as you're looking at these hits, when traded properly, I'm telling you guys, they're $1 million days. That's all I need to say about it, because those who have traded at that level with me in the past, you know what I'm talking about. And it may not appear like it on the screen, but it is, it can easily, quickly add up and surprise you. So to congratulate everyone who is trading in the back. J-Mac, what's up, brother? Way to trade. Luke, want to shout out to Luke, VIP. Also want to shout out to Daniel. Everybody in the back trading well. Congratulations, guys. Nice to see your progress. In terms of this, just take Bitcoin by storm. In terms of that 4-hourly high RSI, you see it on the chart. Let me just remind you here, this specific high value, okay, the specific high value of 70 on the RSI, that is that line that you see in green here. So it's a hurdle for the bulls. What we need is essentially, we need the bulls to power up like precedingly into this zone and ride that specifically overbought situation. What is the accompanying, or let's say an aggravating factor for the bulls is going to be this level of resistance across the top. So let's isolate. May even take this. You can see now how that RSI level is going to hinder us, but just take that level of resistance across the top, and whether or not we've got that RSI level high, meaning 70 across the top here for bulls to charge into and not allow it to act as a reversal. Just understand this is going to be the key line. And call it the line in the sand that the bulls need to power through this week. So as we're getting started, first of all, let's thank Asia. Thank you so much. How many positive Mondays have we had? Think of this. How many positive Mondays have we had in the last month from Asia? Seems like they like to get in gear on Monday. Have you guys noticed that? Yes, it's been happening frequently. If you guys are paying attention in the back in terms of VIP, etc., I know you guys are seeing that. My metric is going to be this. I've got the long interest from essentially riding up right now. That's the specific trade that you see. It looks like it's a big loss now, but guys, relatively speaking, it was covered plus, amply covered last week in terms of profits. So I'm looking at this as a long interest. It will continue to roll to the upside and green if and to the extent we can get back to this specific line. Now, I want to discuss the specific fan formation. This is a dynamic in play that you cannot avoid. If you're really trading Bitcoin, you guys know about the fan dynamics. Let's just pay attention to this. Looking at this would be our anchor spot, right? This would be the anchor of the fan. We're just going to draw out levels here, and they're not random. What they are they're going to be representative of levels of support that flips to a resistance. And pay attention here. From that anchor on the bottom, it's going to be a level of support, again, that flips to resistance. Another level of support, right? That's going to, you see a double hit here that flips to resistance. We now have another level of support, and this would be an outlier. It would literally be an outlier, and to the extent that it would kind of rob the bulls of a rehit expectation along this line, it's a very well-constructed fan. I say that you guys can draw it from this 76,251 point on the daily chart, and it's very well constructed to provide an expectation to hit back up along this level of prior support to flip to resistance. So that would mean there is an expectation to get back up into this zone in and along this 110, 112. With that said, what is going to be our hurdle? Just looking at the bare basic technicals here, it's going to be this specific pivot here, right? As we draw out price action frequently, you guys will know when I see price action like this, and you know where I'm going with this, but when I see price action like this, essentially it's telling me the price action is treating the traders fairly. Every time something is bought underneath this preceding support, it's paying, right? You got to recoup and pay every time. Again, to the extent that buyers are buying underneath support, what's happening? Well, they're getting paid. Why? Because we get the recoup to the prior support. This recoup to the prior support, right? As we're getting underneath this level and buyers decide to engage, what are we getting? We're getting a recoup and buyers paid, boom, at least to that preceding support. So this is checking off really right now that key metric. Sorry about that. The key metric that I look at in terms of price action, where most people will say, well, these are impulse waves. These are very difficult to trade. No, this action here means that it is trading very well and very consistently. So we pay attention to things like this. The fact that we've reached that preceding pivot to the downside means to me that buyers who gained an interest to the downside, yeah, that they're being treated well thus far. You got it right. Yeah, they're in the money. We're in the money in terms of that bottom line standard deviation on the weekly, essentially, and below. I think we'll agree with that if you guys look at the technicals on that. The question is going to be, again, and just draw this out from the 108 to the 112. This will be the level that is going to be really pushed for by the bulls. If the bulls surrender this point, I'm not going to be particularly happy. I will not be upset. Last week was gangbusters. I'm expecting a good week this week as well in terms of trading. I just let you know, if we can't hit this, it's going to be a little bit disappointing. So bulls, you better get in gear and look at that top line. I want you guys please to draw that out on your daily chart on the lines. You'll get a lot out of the specific technicals if you can appreciate how every single level is going to confirm back to that preceding level of support with that anchoring in around that 76,000. So it's a Monday. New York is going to get started up. Asia has gotten it rolling. We're in the green right now, guys, in terms of Bitcoin. I want you guys to focus this week. Have a great week. I'm excited about the incoming trades, and I'll try and bring you the best ones that I can, like last week. If you participated along with those, it was a really, really great week. I hope you did really well. That's my sincere hope for you guys. And to the extent that you want to join the trade group in the back, guys, we have tons of room in the back. VIP, this is our specific interface, MarketHedge, allowing between 100 and 1,000. Literally, you can place 1,000 trades at a time. Doesn't have to be overly, what will we say? Guys, it could be intimidating. Don't let it be intimidating. Understand if people are doing something higher frequency than what you're doing, it's probably because it's a little more advanced. There may be a lot of money in that advancement. It could be a lot of risk as well. I always throw that in terms of this is the riskiest thing we can find to trade. It just is, because we want accelerated returns, and that comes with accelerated risks. That's the way we trade. Shout out to BTCC, our trading partners. Wouldn't be trading with anybody else. Longest standing crypto exchange, never been hacked, up to 500 leverage on Bitcoin. This is London. Look forward to bringing you guys some additional TA updates and trade updates soon. But let's get kicking and see how these specific trades will work out for the week, guys. It's London with MarketHedge Pro. Let's get going. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.